You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 87. S&P 500 is down 12. The NASDAQ's down 56.5. Oil down $0.50 a barrel. And, you know, all that matters right now is what's going to happen at 11 o'clock, more likely 11:30 will be our big question. That's when the Federal Reserve is going to come out. 11 o'clock, they just released what they're doing with interest rates. Well, I've been saying they're going to drop them by 0.5%. A lot of people saying 0.25%. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll be watching that for you. Let's see where the rates are right now. The 10-year Treasury is up about 3 basis points, 3.69. So we're on it. Let's see what's going on in the world today. You gotta love this one. So, you wonder why the mainstream media wonders why they're just laughed at right now. So I don't know if you're following this. I do. What's supposedly the number one newspaper in the United States. And I just laugh at that because is there a newspaper in the United States that has any meaning? But the New York Times. Okay, so their staff is contemplating a strike. And here's some of the items that they're demanding. Now, I can't make this up. Item number 1. They want pet bereavement leave. Has anybody told you that one? Pet bereavement leave. They want a 4-day work week. They want a ban on scented products in the break rooms. So if you wear cologne or perfume to work, does that mean you can't go in the break room? I don't know. Unlimited break time. Now, how do you get work done if you've got unlimited break time? And okay, here's another really good one. So they want, if they're in meetings, they want a warning if something is a trigger word. So a he, she, something along those lines. Now, Josh, we can laugh there because I don't think Las Vegas has ever had a decent newspaper. I mean, they used to have the Las Vegas Sun or something like that. I don't even know if that's still out there. But when I used to travel and I was in Las Vegas a lot, you couldn't, the Las Vegas newspaper, it was not worth anything. I look now and the Sunday paper, which used to be so big, they can fold it in half now. You could never fold the Orange County Register in half years ago. Now they're just irrelevant. It's crazy what they've done to themselves. And then you look at this pet bereavement leave. I wonder how long you get 3 weeks off for that or 6 weeks off because your pet passed. And yes, I unfortunately had a pet that passed probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Yes, it was sad. I mean, she was with us 17 years, part of the family. But I really didn't think about taking a week or two off work because the dog passed away. I just, you can't make some of this stuff up where this country's heading with some of these things. Get back to the old days of just go work hard, right? Try and get ahead, get what you want for your family, do the best you can for yourself, for your family. It just amazes me. Unbelievable. Let's see what else is going on in the news. I see that Starbucks help this. They've got moves that are helping the stock. Well, you know something, being that we do a home and finance radio show and we're talking to people about borrow smart, repay smart. You know what? One of the best things you can do with Starbucks, if you want to retire at an early age, avoid it. I'm in a $7 cup of coffee. Now, I must admit, my son goes to Starbucks way too often. He's 30 almost, so he makes his own decisions. But when you think about $4 for an iced tea, $7 for a cup of coffee, how many of those, if you do that 30 days, just think about this. You're looking at about $2,500 a year that you could be saving if you weren't going to Starbucks for some of these crazy things that they offer. It's just baffles me, but their stock keeps going up. They keep making money. They keep opening stores, so they must be doing something right. Now, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, the latest builder trend, smaller, less expensive homes, maybe. Understanding why your credit application was rejected, debt collection, know your rights and strategies to avoid lawsuits, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. What to know about closing costs. Now that you've decided to buy a home and are ready to make it happen, it's a good idea to plan ahead for the costs that are a typical part of the home buying process. And while your down payment is probably the number one expense on your mind, don't forget about closing costs. Here's what you need to know. What are closing costs? Simply put, your closing costs are the additional fees and payments you have to make at closing. And while they'll vary based on the price of the home and how it's being financed, every buyer has these. So they should not be a surprise. It's just that some people forget to budget for them. According to Freddie Mac, this part of the home buying process typically includes application fees, credit report fees, loan origination fees, appraisal fees, home inspection, title insurance, homeowner's insurance, survey, attorney, escrow fees. If you have, we don't, in California, we don't use as much attorneys. We use escrow here. And escrow can confuse people because you also have escrow as a company that is like a third-party arbitrator. They just look at the contract and make sure everyone's following the rules, like a referee. Some states use attorneys to handle that. Some of these are one-time expenses that are baked into your closing costs. Others, like homeowner's insurance, are initial installment payments for ongoing responsibilities you'll have once you take possession of the home. How much are the closing costs? Same Freddie Mac article goes on to say, quote, closing costs vary greatly depending on your location and the price of your home. Typically, you should be prepared to pay between 2 and 5% of the home purchase price in closing fees, unquote. With that in mind, here's how you can get an idea of what you'll need to budget. Let's say you find a home you want to purchase. And again, national median price today, $422,600. Based on the 2 to 5% Freddie Mac estimate, your closing costs fees could be roughly $8,452 and $21,130. Keep in mind, if you're in a market for a home above or below this price range, your numbers will be higher or lower. Here's some tips to reduce your closing costs. If you're wondering if there's any way to inch that down a little bit, NerdWallet lists a few things that could help. Negotiate with the seller. Some sellers are willing to cover part or all of these expenses, especially since homes are staying on the market a little bit longer now. Sellers may be more motivated to compromise, and you'll find you have a bit more negotiation power. So don't hesitate to ask them for concessions like paying for home inspection or giving you a credit towards closing costs. Easy to find out. Ask your real estate professional how many days the house you're looking at has been on the market. In most areas, still more than 15 or 20 days, you have to wonder why. If you want to know in your zip code what the average is, well, of course we'll help you with that because we've got a tool that'll give that information to you. rsrlinks.com/ if I can find it here, it should be easier. I should put it up higher. rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. Our friends at Altos Research, they track every home for sale in the United States every single week. And we give that information to you for free. rsrlinks.com/market report. So negotiating with the seller, your agent will help you with that. Again, give us a call. We'll put you in touch with a great agent that can help you. Shop around for home insurance. Since rising home insurance is a challenge in many areas of the country right now, take the time to get a clear picture of all your options. Each insurance company offers their own policies and coverage, so get multiple quotes and see how they compare. Choosing a policy that provides reliable coverage at a competitive rate can make a big difference. Again, in California, it is not easy to get home insurance. You need to have somebody that really knows what they're doing. I've seen sways in insurance prices just on some simple properties from $1,800 to $4,000 for the same property, same coverage. So give us a call, 800-306-1990. We'll put you in touch with a great insurance professional. Look into closing cost assistance. Just look at our programs out there to help with your down payment. Options exist to get support and closing costs too. While they'll vary by area, there are programs for various income levels, certain professions, and specific towns or neighborhoods too. If you want to learn more, Experience says, quote, your real estate professional should be able to steer you toward applicable programs, and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, maintains a helpful resource for finding home buying assistance programs in every state, unquote. Did I mention that we're the #1 lending team in America for Homes for Heroes? What does that mean? Well, we give a credit at closing for heroes. That would be military, active, reserve, veterans, first responders, law enforcement, police, fire, nurses, teachers. All of them get a credit at closing when they use our team for their closings on their loans. So give us a call on that one as well. Planning for fees and payments you'll need to cover when you're closing on your home is important, and it doesn't have to be a big surprise. With the right experts on your side, you can make sure you're prepared. Give me a call again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And again, if you want to know the value of your house, just go to rsrmoney.com. Look at the fourth button over in the middle of the screen. You can put your address in there, and it'll give you 4 different sources for the value of your property. rsrmoney.com. Yeah, it gives you 4. We give you 3 good ones, and we know you want to know it, so Zillow's there too. So just to give you a little bit of info on that, let's go back and continue our conversation on what the housing reports and forecasts are showing for the coming year. So we talked about the mortgage rates, and 30-year fixed rates as of September 2024. And if you look at this one, you can see that the actual numbers, and they're coming down. Wells Fargo is forecasting them to come down the most. MBA and MBA has Mortgage Bankers Association. They've got a vested interest, and they're coming down the slowest. Fannie Mae's forecasting, again, Fannie Mae buys the vast majority of the properties around the world. So that's kind of an interesting point with them that we always look at as well. So Fannie Mae's got those kind of numbers for you. And again, everyone's talking about rates coming down. Charles Dougherty, director and senior economist at Wells Fargo, lower financing costs will likely boost demand by pulling affordability-crunched buyers off the sidelines. We know that you've had problems with trying to afford properties in the last couple of years. Last few years where interest rates have been so much higher. Well, that's one of the components of the affordability. What are the other ones? Well, wages, your income is a component of affordability, and home prices. So what are they saying about home prices? Total home sales forecasted to rise. Total home sale, actually, and sales are expected to rise as well. So in 2019, the last, the year before we had any pandemic numbers, 6 million homes sold. 2020, 6.4, 6.9 in 2021. So just look at the way those numbers are. And again, we've got all these screens showing up for you right there if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv or any of our social channels. But let's take a look and see further. What are they expecting? 2024, our current pace is 4.7 million homes, and they're projecting 5.4 million for next year. 5.4 million. If the forecast this year is right at 4.7, that would be about a 9 million increases, gives us a 20%. So we're looking at about 15% increase in sales. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's great, Ron. We like to see a big increase in sales. No. When you see a big increase in sales, unless you have the demand to go with it, then you're going to start looking and saying, okay, well, I got a problem because prices are going to skyrocket again. So we are looking at some of these numbers. And again, all of them are saying, give us more sales in the coming year. What are we looking at in the way of prices? Well, I'd like to just look at the home price expectation survey. If you're watching us on RonSiegel.tv, or RSR on YouTube. You can always go and watch our latest show, RSR on YouTube.com. RSR on YouTube.com. Always gives you the most recent show that we've done. 2025 home price forecasts as of September 11th, 2024. I like the best one as a home price expectation survey because see all those different bars on there that give you different forecasts. Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Fannie Mae, Morgan Stanley, MBA, Zelman and Associates, National Association of Realtors, Freddie Mac, Moody's. Put them all together and add another 100 or so economists and bankers and businesses and academics. And that's how you get the home price expectation survey. They say that the 2025 prices are going to go up 3.1% nationally. Now, how do I translate that into California? Well, historically, about 3% is a norm for home prices nationally. Well, okay, California is generally, I know Orange County, 63-year average is about 5.36%. So we're quite a bit higher. So when I look at the national number, it says 3.1. I'm going to come out and say 5.6 is probably, or 5.3, we're going to probably be right in range with that. Can I guarantee it? Absolutely not. We don't guarantee forecasts on Ron Siegel Radio. We just give you the data, tell you what the history shows. And yes, because I am old, when I was back at Chapman College in the early 80s, they did share with us the definition of economics. We study the past to understand the present and predict the future, or to try and predict the future. So while I'm not giving you guarantees, we're looking at the past, we're looking at the present, hoping that maybe some of that will repeat itself. And as I've said, and I'll repeat myself here again, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, mortgage rates drop to the lowest level in over a year. Tiny behavioral shifts can lead to big changes in your finances and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals, rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com, the real story behind what's happening with home prices. Now, if you're wondering what's going on with home prices lately, you're definitely not the only one. With so much information out there, it can be hard to figure out your next move. As a buyer, you might be worried about paying more than you should. If you're thinking of selling, you might be concerned about getting the price you're aiming for. So here's a quick breakdown to help clear things up and show you what's really happening with prices, whether you're thinking about buying or about selling. Home prices growth is slowing, but prices are not falling nationally. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 FM 98.1 video feed, you're seeing a chart of home price appreciation moderating. What does that mean by moderating? Well, just think about, okay, I gained 5 pounds this month. Next month, I gained 3 pounds. Well, that doesn't mean I lost weight. I still gained weight. It's moderating. How do you like that one, Josh? I used to use the freeway. That's a new one. He's laughing at me. Rest assured, this doesn't mean home prices are falling. In fact, all of the bars in the graph show price growth. So while you might hear talk of prices cooling, what really means is they're not climbing as fast as they were when they skyrocketed just a few years ago. What's next for home prices? It's all about supply and demand. You might be curious where prices will go from here. The answer depends on supply and demand and what's going to vary by local market. Yes, local market. If you want to know what's happening in your local market, well, we give you the information for free. You don't even have to pay for it because we do. rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. You can actually get that report. Altos Research puts out a report every week, and they tell us exactly what's going on. They track every home for sale in the country. rsrlinks.com/market report. Nationally, the number of homes for sale is going up, but there still aren't enough of them to meet today's buyer demand. That's keeping upward pressure on prices. Even though recent inventory growth has caused that home price appreciation to slow, Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, said that, quote, today's low but quickly improving for sale inventory has ushered in more market balance than would otherwise be expected. This should help some prices maintain a slower pace of growth, unquote. And here's one other thing you may not have considered that could play a role in where prices go from here. Since experts say mortgage rates should continue to decline, it's likely more buyers will re-enter the market in the months ahead. If demand picks up, that could make prices climb a bit further. So that's why you need to talk to a local real estate agent. Give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. While national trends give a big picture view, real estate is always local, especially when it comes to prices. What's happening in your neighborhood might be different from the national average based on what supply and demand look like in your market. That's why it's crucial to get local insights from a knowledgeable real estate agent. As your go-to source for everything related to home prices, a local real estate agent can provide the most current data and trends specific to your area. So if you're planning to sell, they can help you price your house accurately. And when you're ready to buy, they can find the right home that fits your budget needs. Bottom line, home prices are still rising, just not as quickly as before. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just curious about what your house is worth, give me a call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Hey, just all you have to do is go into rsrmoney.com. Go to the fourth tab over on that big bar down the middle of the screen, and it says home value. And it'll give you an idea, 4 different sources of what your real estate value is. 3 of them are pretty good. Then there's Zillow is on there too, because we know you want to know what they have to say, even though they'll tell you if you dig deep into their website that their values can be off by as much as 30%. 30%. So I just throw that out there for you. Unbelievable. But if you want to know the property values, go there. We put together a unique dashboard for every one of our private clients. We have a dashboard set up with their household board of directors, along with specific data to their property. And some of the data is stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else in the marketplace. We update it all on a very regular basis, so you're always getting the most current data. Again, if you want us just to adopt your mortgage because maybe your mortgage professional left the industry, RJ at ronsiegelradio.com, RJ at ronsiegelradio.com. Just send a copy of your mortgage statement. We need to have a little bit of information from you. We'll need to have a phone number and an email address, and we'll put it out there. Remember, there's nothing that's on your mortgage statement, or basically there's nothing on your mortgage statement that's not public information. You can go in and look. I mean, there might be a little bit of tweaks here and there, but for the most part, when you go into the county recorder's website, which anybody that has any sense in real estate, lending, or as a realtor, real estate agent, you can go into the county recorder's office and call a title person, and they'll say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, they took out their mortgage in September 17th of 2023. And if we look at Freddie Mac, interest rates on that in that week were X. So the idea is it's going to be pretty close to what your interest rate is. The loan amount was Y, and we can figure out what the payments are from that. You can look at an amortization table, see approximately what the balance due is today. Public information. And you can say, okay, they're good. They don't need any help. They've got the best thing possible. But what if one of the 6 Ds came into their life? Diplomas, diamonds, diapers, divorce, death, default. Those are the 6 Ds. What if something like life happens? If you had some of that, well, then maybe you want to take action. Maybe there's something you need to do. And if you look, I think we talked about this yesterday a little bit. But if we look at some of the numbers that are coming up, there you've got a lot of equity in your property. If you're like most people, you can look at, I have charts all the time that we use, and we look at the home value, we look at the equity, we look at debt. And right now there's a lot of home equity out there. 39.3% own the home free and clear. We've talked about that. So why do I bring that up? Well, because right now, California real estate is high risk. Yes, I said it. It's high risk. Why do I believe California real estate is high risk? Now, you can mitigate that risk. Why are insurance companies leaving the state? Because they see home values as being risky. Well, do we think that the prices are going to go down because the prices are going to go down? No. Prices are going to go down because of existential threats outside of our control. Land shifting in Rancho Palos Verdes, the horrible, horrible fires that are going on all over our state, or at least Southern California. They're not in Northern California this time, it doesn't look like. But those things all affect home values. Well, there's 39.3% of the people who own their home free and clear. 29.9% have a mortgage on their homes with 50% with greater than 50% equity. That means they owe less than 50%. 30.8% mortgage homes with less than 50% equity. So you've got 30.8 with less than 50 and 29.9 with more than 50%. Well, all of those folks have an opportunity. Well, maybe they need to consolidate their debt. Maybe they need to do something along those lines. Maybe they need to diversify. And we don't say diversify to go buy a car, a boat, or something like that. Diversify into something that is safe and secure. Now, I know about some of these products. I can't tell you too much about them. I can tell you what I would be looking at. Not advice for you because I'm not licensed to give you advice, but I'd be looking at the bi-directional funds that we've heard Todd Halterman talk about. I would be looking into maybe some of the index universal life insurance policies that some of our guests have talked about that have a floor where you're not going to lose money as long as the insurance company doesn't go bankrupt. And even then, historically, no one's ever lost money in insurance. But you look at some of those things. Have you had it even, on a side note, rabbit trail, have you even had an insurance checkup? A lot of folks bought whole life insurance or universal insurance when they were younger, and they just made their payments. And now the insurance cost has gone up because they've aged. Well, if you looked at what your cash value is, what happens if you take your cash value out of that and put it into something else, into maybe a term life policy? Again, I don't sell these things. I only throw out ideas for you to check with your financial board of directors. Again, I've coined the term household board of directors. And again, if you don't know people that are doing these things, I do, because I talk to them on a regular basis. We put together these things for people on a regular basis. All you got to do is give us a call. And as I've said before, diversify. Yesterday, we talked a lot about location, not just of where you live, but where you have your money parked. 39.3%. Call it 40%. Let's see, 142 homes in Rancho Palos Verdes. 142 times 40%. Is that 56 people, 56 families that saw a lot of the value of their property drop, maybe all of it? It's not something I like to talk about or pine about, but it's reality. So when I talk to you about safety, liquidity, and return, well, safety of where you've got your money located is important. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, well, I usually try to. I don't get to everything. What credit card users need to know if the Fed cuts rates in September. Tiny behavioral shifts can lead to big changes in your finances. All that and more. Reach me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the first Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporate.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Understanding why your credit application was rejected and how to bounce back. Have you been denied for a credit application and felt unsure why? Getting rejected can be frustrating, but it's essential to understand what factors might have led to this decision. We're going to break down the most common reasons why credit applications are denied and provide guidance on how you can improve your financial standing to be better prepared next time. Whether you're a homeowner, first-time buyer, or managing debt, these insights are key to staying creditworthy. Number one, missed or late payments hurt your history. The number one factor in your credit score is your payment history, making up 35% of your overall score. Even one missed payment can negatively impact your credit, causing lenders to reject your application. Consistently paying bills late signals risk to lenders. To overcome this hurdle, start making timely payments and give it time, typically 6 months or more. For applying for new credit, again, it's about building a pattern of reliability that lenders can trust. Make sure, again, you're watching rsrccpayment.com. Just set up your payments so that they go automatically, rsrccpayment.com. Number two, multiple recent credit inquiries raise red flags. Applying for multiple loans or credit cards in a short span triggers hard inquiries on your credit report. While one or two might not hurt, several within a short time frame can suggest financial instability. Lenders might worry that you're seeking credit because you're having trouble managing your finances. These inquiries stay on your credit report for about 2 years. So if you've been denied due to multiple inquiries, it's wise to hold off on applying for anything new for a while. You can get your real FICO score, cleanall3.com, cleanall3.com. Number three, past bankruptcy weighs you down. Bankruptcies can be a financial reset for many people, but it leaves a significant dent on your credit history. Lenders often hesitate to offer credit to those who have recently gone through bankruptcy, as it shows an inability to meet previous obligations. However, you can rebuild. Consider secured credit cards or credit builder loans to slowly reestablish your creditworthiness over time. These tools allow you to show positive behavior while keeping the risk low for lenders. Number four, collection accounts signal financial trouble. When debt goes unpaid for a long time, it often gets sold to collection agencies, leaving a collection mark on your credit report. This is another red flag for lenders indicating past financial trouble. If you find collection on your report that doesn't belong there, dispute it with the credit bureaus. If it's legitimate, work towards paying it off and avoiding further accounts being sent to collections. Do not use that button that's on the free reports about disputes. Do it the old-fashioned way. Write a letter, include the right information with that letter, send it certified mail to the Bureau, and then they have 30 or 35 days to respond to you in writing. When you go to that dispute button, it's like a Twitter or X, whatever they call it now. That's what that's like. So you put a small response in there, and then it's pretty worthless. I'm just throwing that out there for you. They have an automation that comes back and saying, we checked it, we're right, you're wrong, move along. No, it's more to it than that if it's legit. Now, if it's a collection, you're going to want to listen to our report a little later in the broadcast about collections. But if it's a collection, you want to make sure that if you negotiate that with your creditor, well, make sure you get a letter stating what they're going to do, that they're going to remove it from your credit report. And yes, they can remove it from your credit report. If you've got a lot of collections there, you might need to call us at 800-306-1990 so we can introduce you to our friend Chris Corrales. He's got a service where they'll negotiate those items for you. Number 5, high utilization of credit limits can hurt. Again, rsrccpayment.com. We show you how to deal with that. Your credit utilization ratio, how much of your available credit you're using, has a significant impact on your credit score. Lenders typically prefer utilization ratio below 30%. If you're consistently carrying high balances relative to your credit limits, it may indicate that you're overextending yourself financially. To improve your ratio, either pay down existing debt or request higher credit limits, but don't spend that extra money. This will help reduce your utilization and increase your chances of future approval. Number 6, too many accounts with consumer finance companies. Consumer finance companies offer loans with high interest rates to individuals who may not qualify for traditional credit. Having multiple loans from these companies can make traditional lenders wary, as it shows a pattern of financial difficulty. If this is a reason for your denial, work on paying off as many of these accounts as possible before reapplying for credit from mainstream lenders. Some steps to take for a better future. The good news is credit is not static. With a strategic approach, you can improve your credit score and open the door to better financial opportunities. Here are some immediate steps. Regularly check your credit report. Ensure accuracy and dispute any errors you find. Establish positive payment patterns. On-time payments help rebuild trust with lenders. Lower your credit utilization. Aim to keep your credit card balances well below your credit limit. Avoid applying for too much credit at once. Spacing out credit applications helps to avoid unnecessary hard inquiries. Remember, while rejection is never pleasant, it can be a powerful learning tool. By understanding why your application was denied, you can make the necessary changes to improve your financial health and set yourself up for success. Again, I share with you our 2 tools that we give you here. Cleanall3.com, cleanall3.com. That'll let you monitor your credit with soft inquiries. Soft inquiries don't go on your credit report as a hard inquiry. They know it's just you being prudent. So cleanall3.com will get that for you. Then make sure that you're paying your credit cards the right way. rsrccpayment.com. rsrccpayment.com. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by Credit Sanitizer. What do we have there? Our Credit Sanitizer. Okay. RSR, Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. Debt collection. Know your rights and strategies to avoid lawsuits. Debt collection can feel like a looming threat, especially when you're unsure of your rights or the timeline for legal action, and we are not giving you legal advice. Got to call an attorney for that. For many homeowners and first-time home buyers, understanding how debt collectors operate and what actions they can legally take is critical to safeguarding financial well-being. If you're struggling with debt or concerned about being sued, the following guide will provide clarity on what to expect and how to protect yourself. When can a debt collector sue you? Debt collectors have the legal right to sue you if you owe a debt and haven't been making payments. However, There isn't a universal answer for how soon this can happen. It could range from a few months to over a year. Typically, collectors will try to recover the debt through other means, such as letters and phone calls, before considering legal action. One of the most important factors to be aware of is the statute of limitations, which varies by state and by the type of debt. The statute is essentially the time frame during which collectors are legally allowed to sue you over the debt. For instance, credit card debt might have a different statute of limitations than mortgage debt or auto loans. In many cases, the statute can range from 3 to 15 years, depending on the state. Once the statute of limitations expires, while the debt still exists, you can no longer be sued for it. However, paying even a small amount or acknowledging the debt could restart the clock. So it's crucial to be careful when dealing with collectors if you're unsure of the timeline. Key factors debt collectors consider before suing: lawsuits are expensive and time-consuming, so debt collectors don't pursue them lightly. Here are some factors that influence their decision. The amount of debt. Larger debts are more likely to result in legal action because the potential recovery is worth the expense. For smaller amounts, collectors may continue trying other strategies. Age of the debt. Collectors are more likely to sue for recent debts, as older debts often have less chance of being recovered. Your location. States with more favorable legal environments for debt collectors might see quicker lawsuits. Filing fees and court costs also play a role in their decision. What to do if a debt collector sues you? If the collector sues you, it's critical to respond. Ignoring a lawsuit can lead to an automatic judgment in favor of the collector. This means they could garnish your wages or even place a lien on your home. Here's what you should do. Number one, review the lawsuit. First, verify that the debt is valid and hasn't exceeded the statute of limitations. If the debt is time barred, you have grounds to dismiss the case. Again, no legal advice here. Number two, respond promptly. You must respond to the lawsuit within the timeline specified, usually between 20 to 30 days. Not responding could lead to default judgment. Number three, the biggie, seek legal help. If you're unsure how to proceed, seek advice from an attorney experienced in debt collection law. Many states offer free legal aid services for consumers facing debt lawsuits. Number four, negotiate a settlement. In some cases, collectors are willing to settle for less than the full amount owed. Negotiating a settlement can help you avoid court and resolve the matter more quickly. Again, our friend Chris Corrales helps with that a lot. So maybe you want to have a consultation with him. How debt collection affects your credit. Debt collectors have a direct impact on your credit score, and a lawsuit can make the situation worse. If a collector wins a lawsuit, a judgment will appear on your credit report, significantly damaging your score and making future borrowing more difficult. Additionally, having an account in collections can lower your credit score for years, affecting your ability to secure loans for a mortgage, car, or other major purchases. So what are some strategies to avoid debt collections and lawsuits? Well, the best way to avoid being sued by a debt collector is to say proactive managing your debt. Here are some strategies to consider. Open communication. If you're struggling to make payments, don't ignore the issue. Reach out to your creditor to discuss repayment plans, which can help you avoid collection altogether. Know your rights. Familiarize yourself with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, which protects consumers from harassment and outlines how and when debt collectors can contact you. Monitor your credit. Regularly checking your credit report can help you spot any accounts that might be in danger of going to collections, giving you time to address them before legal action is taken. CleanAll3.com. I've told you that many, many times. CleanAll3.com gives you a real FICO report. Debt consolidation. If you have multiple debts, consolidating them into a single payment can simplify payment and help you avoid falling behind. Again, our friend Chris Corrales can help you with that. Seek professional help. If your debt feels overwhelming, consulting a financial advisor or credit counselor can give you a clearer picture of your options and help you develop a strategy to manage and reduce your debt. Just a few ideas there for you to help you. And again, there are options. There are lots of different options. Don't feel overwhelmed by all of this. Give us a call at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. We're happy to put you in touch with people that can help you. That's Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. They all are. What are you doing about it? Again, go to Credit Sanitizer. We'll put you in touch with our friends over at Blue Water Credit. They're the ones, the go-to folks. They help negotiate for some benefits on the credit reports. They'll help negotiate on a lot of different things. And they've got the relationships with all of these different services that you may not have. So again, creditsanitizer.com. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your time with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, see up a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.